Dear viewers, wherever you are, hello and welcome to this new episode of your program, Spectra. Vicarious pride, or reflected glory, is a phenomenon when someone tends to be extremely excited, and even much more than that, they tend to brag and boast about the success of someone other than themselves. So someone might brag and boast about the success of a compatriot, or maybe a brother, sister, family member, even a friend, regardless of how, unfortunately, unsuccessful they might be. To shed more light on this peculiar but very common phenomenon at the same time, I'm really delighted to be accompanied by Mustafa Hassan, who is a counselor and an emotional therapist. Mustafa, hello and welcome again to the program.
Hi, sir. How are you doing? Thank you so much for your kind invitation for today.
Thank you very much. It's really a pleasure to always have you with us on the program. And can you explain to our viewers in simple terms what is reflected glory or vicarious pride, the way you see it as a counselor and as an emotional therapist?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I believe the reflective glory is like it's a feeling of proud. I'm feeling like I'm the winner here when someone close to me achieves something, and is if this success reflects on me directly or indirectly. Maybe my first football team in my country won the uh, the cup for the competition, for example. There is like two reflections here. There is a positive one, and there is a like an analytical perspective as well. So the first one will be like it creates a sense of belonging to something admirable or bigger than myself. Sometimes for some people it can boost their self-esteem, even there is no direct involvement on this glory, right? Uh, from the other perspective, when someone is like has a low self-esteem, he has a lot of dreams wanted to achieve, and he's like hooking himself or herself with a family member or a friend that he achieved this glory, and he is like this sense of achievement like resonating with him or with her, right? Coming to the Vicarious bride, I believe two perspectives as well. It's warm, uplifting feeling that someone I care about him or her succeeds, a sense of emotional connection. But from the other perspective, also, like I'm hooking my sense of achievements
Mhm.
and sense of success to other people. Like I'm taking the outside or exterior reflection of my needs to the other people.
And is this vicarious, you know, or reflected glory or vicarious pride? Is this something that is natural, or does it come from circumstances? Is it nature or nurture mostly? And is it connected more to some cultures?
Yes, I believe so. I believe like it's if we go to the a deep analysis, if we go to the plateau, like in the statistics, some people are like 10-15% here, 10-15% here, and we have in the middle. So it is nature, and to it's a sense of belonging to my country, to my team, to right, to my school, my classmate, whatever. But on the other hand, if it is more than normal, it might be it's not healthy, right? Like I have this sense of exterior reflection of my personal achievements, right? And reflected glory at that area is like I'm borrowing the bride, right? It's not a genuine success. It's an earned bride. So there is like the two perspectives, the healthy one and the unhealthy one.
Okay, so you said it might be connected maybe to some people, to some circumstances, to some cultures, and so on. And some people might argue, actually, um, it's natural to boast about compatriots or about like relatives or friends, because this might help change the stereotype that people have about a specific culture. Do you really think that this works or not? Like, would the success of one person, or even 10 or 20 person or 20 people from one specific background, can this change the stereotype that people have about millions?
Coming back to connect your two questions here, uh, is it a natural feeling or a learned behavior? So let us connect these dots together. So it's natural in close relationships where empathy is strong. Also, some cultures, as you said, and upbringing, the social institutions shaping us how to value it. And it's usually starting with a childhood, raising siblings or classmates or teams. So uh, that, like, why do we think people uh, post about other relatives or friends' achievement instead of their own? Because I believe it makes them feeling safer than risking the judgment over personal failures and limitations. Also, it might help some people to gain the glory of success and gain the social approval, validation, acknowledgement, right? And sometimes they genuinely feel connected and proud without any self-interest. But again, it's tricky here because yes, it is associated with being validated and acknowledged without gaining the social approval, right? Without putting the efforts as well.
And do you think that people who do this actually try to hide their own insecurities? So people who do this, like, is there any kind of relationship between the two facts that, like the more unsuccessful I am, the more I'll resort to this, and the more successful I am, the less I'll resort to it?
This is coming for the concept of being self-referral. Like I'm referring the validation, the acknowledgement, the acceptance of myself to myself, like having this high self-esteem and confidence. And yes, to your question, I believe it might mask the self-doubt and lack of fulfillment. I'm hooking my glory and achievements to other people, which some may be maybe they are struggling to define their own worth outside of these relationships.
So it's again, it's something we previously talked about. It's like trying to reflect, instead of reflecting my weaknesses on others, I try to reflect the strengths of others on me. So
Yes,
it's a reverse kind of phenomenon that to the one that we talked about previously in the previous
yes,
episode.
yes. Like
Yes.
being a people referral, being a subject referral, being object referral. So this is one of the subject referral. I'm connecting my validation and acknowledgement and social approval to something that it is outside of my self approval and self validation and self referral.
And how's this different from using someone as a role model or as a muse? You can say, okay, I'm not as successful as this person, but if this person who grew up in the same circumstances that I grew in and he's from the same culture, if he did it, so can I. So do you see it that it can lead to something productive later on? Like I can take this successful person as an example.
Uh, uh, in my opinion, there is no absolute here. So, in my opinion, maybe some people they feel connected to others people tribe, and it's all about depending on whether this bride uh, fools the humility and superiority from their mind. And the trick here, or the sensitive point, is the danger lies in replacing self growth with a second hand validation. So if we are in the same family, and this kid is like always bringing his brothers or sister success as some sort of validation, and to be accepted in the community maybe, or in the family. So this is suppressing his own self validation, and being having a clear objective in order to move forward in his life, for example.
And how does conventional and unconventional or like social media play a role in inserting this mindset into people? You know, like, so in some cultures, for example, some countries, they'd always have this propaganda about their history, about how great our history was. We had the greatest civilization the world has ever known, which is a fact, actually. But how about today?
I
So it's
believe
a bit of,
social,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Sorry for crossing you. I believe social media is like amplifying the effect,
Hmm.
amplifying the desire to appear perfectly in front of people, and appear connected to success. I'm successful. I'm the best. I'm number one. One of
Yes.
the Yeah, one of the celebrities, right? I'm number
Yes,
one.
it's a famous pop song. Yes,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. So likes and comments reward the public pride, of course.
Hmm.
And it's like reinforcing this with the habit with the social media. And of course, this is like distorting the self-worth. It's like, if we are comparing it to a real positioning,
Hmm.
and it replaces the connection as well. So I believe social media is playing a, a role here, amplifying this and influencing the people's tendency to show this bright, right?
Yeah, yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And again, do you think that like if we were watching a soccer match or watching some kind of sports competition, do you think that people like maybe blow things out of proportion, like you said, like they might take it to an extreme? But are you against people celebrating or cheering for clubs or teams, especially national ones?
there is no like correct or wrong answer here. I believe so, like some in some incidents, it like it can inspire people to for more success to set their maybe own goals. It's like maybe it like but it push us in order to taste the success and yeah, you know what, it's like put me in a resonance with my objectives, for example. But again, the other side of the story, too much reliance on the other success may reduce my personal desire as well, and to succeed and to the drive to achieve. So the key is a balance to celebrate others and celebrate my team, my country, victorious events. But on the other hand, I need to invest in myself.
Like it's a story that I think is an eternal one, really. And we hear this across the different cultures here in Canada, that when they sit among themselves in their self-made silo, they tend to brag, saying that, you know what, we're the smartest people on this planet. Our people are the smartest. Our people are the best. And each group thinks that they are the only one who say that. But actually, every group says the same thing.
Yeah,
Look, now when we were given the right circumstances, we are the best in the world. And but actually, those successful people, if they come from culture A, B, C until Z, is this attributed really to their race or to the effort that they exerted? So, like, if we both exert the same effort and we have this genuine desire, and we have this spark, and it's like our desire is always rekindled all the time, and we always find a new motivation. Does our race really matter? Does our DNA really matter? Like I'm talking here about again, like which part of the world do we come from, or does it have to do more with the effort and using the means in the proper way?
I believe this is coming into a psychological theory about individualism and collectivism, and how individualism relates to reflected glory, and the role of individualism in motivation, success, and self-worth. So I believe this concept is making it very clear. Um, uh, in the individualism cultures, like me, focusing on my achievements, like you can see it in Europe and North American cultures, for example. It's like focusing on me, on the and the social and the cultural aspects. On this one is focusing on the individual achievements. So while in many other cultures in the eastern part of the world, pride in family or nation is a moral norm. It is even some countries, it's even a duty. Where in the individualistic cultures, it's more about the personal wins. So it's, as you said, there is a variations about our cultures and about our background, because it's coming from the psychological roots, how reflected glory can be motivating when it inspires. If I am in the collectivism concept, while in the individualism, it's totally different.
So you're sort of differentiating between a sort of an egocentric versus a sociocentric
Yes.
society.
Yep.
And do you see one of them as naturally more successful and the other one like counterproductive? So should we be just more self-centered, like care more about our individual success, regardless of the success of everyone? Because one might argue, actually, the societies you talked about in the West, for instance, yeah, like individual success is very important, but collectively, as a country, these countries tend to be among the most successful, if they are not the most successful countries in the world, even as a group.
Yeah. I believe from my personal opinion, being in the individualistic or individualism or ego center, as you said, I'm unique, emphasizes on the personal goals, independencies, self-expression. Um, Comparing two cultures and two societies, from my opinion, I believe the balance between the two concepts is very crucial. And I feel that this balance should be maybe 70 to 30, 40, 60, where the collectivism is like playing a considerable higher role than the individualism. We are all connected, focusing on a group harmony, loyalty, shared success, while we are not ignoring the personal success. I believe one of the courses that we are teaching in the organization behavior, and it's like focusing on the Japanese business model, how they are appreciating the individual contribution of the group success. So this is the challenging equation.
A very, like striking example was the kamikaze fighters during World War II. So we had the US Army versus the Japanese Army.
Yeah,
And kamikaze fighter, like instead of just ejecting their seat out of the plane and, run for their lives with a parachute, no, no. I would use myself and I'd just fall into a ship. You killed me. Yes, I'm dying anyway. I don't care. But for me, you'll lose a whole crew. And is this a right way to think? Is this an extreme again? What is this? Like it's because this can be seen by some people as patriotism. Um, but again, I'm sacrificing my life, for the others. Well, if I eject, I'm not a coward. I can come back and fight later on. But no, no, no. Like they would refuse to quit.
yeah. I believe there is a like a very thin line between like to the extent to sacrifice my life, different cultures again. Like to which extent that you are going to be to sacrifice your efforts, time, and life into the for the group, for your country, right? So there is a very thin line here, and I believe it's individual variation and it is cultural variation as well. Some cultures, as you said, the Japanese one, like individuals can sacrifice their lives for their country, and they don't mind to do that. Again, coming to the balance, balance is very important. To yes, I'm dedicated. I am going to put all of my efforts, time, resources to make it up for myself and my country and my group or my company, while I'm also making a balance that I am feeling like I'm doing well in my life. It's a win-win. I feel it's the right one. It will be win-win.
At the end of this episode, I really have to thank you very, very much for touching on some extremely important points here. And it's a phenomenon that we live with every single day, every single day. Maybe in our culture of origin, yours and mine, we have a very interesting proverb that says, the bald woman brags about the beauty of her niece's hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like try to cover up for that. Thank you very much again for being with us.
Thank you,
And we'll
sir.
make this
It was a great pleasure being with you today, and I will be looking forward to see you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you very much again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And dear viewers, if we were to conclude here, actually, always, of course, it's balance is always the greatest thing. Like never the yin, never the yang. So it's never the extremely dark or the extremely bright one. It's sort of the twilight, somewhere in the middle. This is where things are. So taking things to an extreme because, as the law of mechanics of, Newton, every action has a reaction, equal in magnitude, but opposite in the direction. So if you take something to an extreme, it'll backfire. Definitely. Definitely. So, yes, being happy. Yeah, like if I cheer for a club or a national team, I can be very happy. But I don't need to be proud, actually. Even a pinch of pride is okay, but not, a handful. No, I wouldn't give it a handful because it, it might give us false pride and false self-worth, which will be extremely counterproductive. So, the way to do it is to be happy, have some pride, but take this success that you've seen from a compatriot or a friend or relative as a motivator for yourself, for your own success. Dear viewers, until we meet again, I hope you have a very pleasant time. Thanks for watching.